Alrighty. How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Derek. We are back here for the final stretch of the Morpho Anatomy for Artists simplified forms. We are starting at the lower limb. Alright. Starting at page 80. Let's get into it. So, got some stuff going on here. Figure 1, which is right here. An oblique line separates the thigh into two volumes. Quadriceps, or these are your quads, and then the big ones. So that's your quads, and then the abductors are the little small guys. Figure 2, from the hip joint to the floor, the halfway point can be placed at the bottom of the patella. So your patella is in your foot. Top of the hip, halfway point is like middle of your knees. All right. Man, I've never really done like a full-on leg study, so I'm pretty excited about this. Boy, the leg's hard. They're just so long. So, good thing for me that I try to do when I have to approach legs is try to make, your shin area as long as your quad area. And also kind of noticing this like kind of S formation that's happening on the outside, and then there's a little bit of that happening on the inside, but there's a lot more straights versus curves. So straights versus curves on the inside, and then on the outside it's just really just kind of curves and curves. Okay. Let's get into these guys real quick. Hell yeah. I have not seen the Odyssey yet, but I will. I might actually go try to see it today. My girl was being very nice to me and was like, we can go see it. And I'm like, you don't want to go sit through a 3-hour movie. I barely want to do it. I know you don't want to do it. But shout out to the Rissa dog. I'm gonna do this. This looks like this is almost like 1/3 of the way down. I was gonna say this is like the abductor comes down about half. I'm also gonna write abduct, and then these are your quads. And then again, the toes are just kind of repeating shapes. And then it looks like over here on this example, it looks like you kind of can say this is like, because now over here it looks like it's about halfway down. So I guess you can't go wrong with either half or 1/3 of the way down. And again, right, like you know, don't that's not like a hardcore rule. It's just things that you can kind of remember to make things seem like they look right for you when you're drawing. But yeah, it doesn't have to be like a hardcore rule, right? Like you might like to draw your quads and abductors like a different separation, but just try to make like a mental note of like how you kind of want to do that. So that's why I was doing that. Cool. And I do like that it's highlighting this, you know, this like lower belly section. So I'm gonna make sure I get that in there as well. Because this section right here always gives me trouble. I feel like I just automatically just connect this stuff to like, I don't know, like here, but there is, you know, there's a little bit more room that you're connecting these leg shapes to. That always throws me off, like just kind of forgetting to do that. We got some more over here. Some of these just seem to be kind of sketchy, so I'm just going to kind of make mine just as sketchy. I'm trying to think. Ironically, I think we have to draw a lot of legs today on a piece that I'm working on. But if you've made it this far in the video, in the book, I mean, like, look at this, right? Like, this is only taking us, if you did this, you know, I mean, I've been doing this every day, right? We're at, I think it's gonna clock in at about 16 hours, right? Which, like, you know, isn't crazy. Like, it's just every day for like an hour. Like, you can totally, I guess that's kind of mostly what I wanted people to kind of get out of this series. It's just like, studying doesn't have to take over your life. It can just become a part of your daily habit for a little bit. I remember people always saying that about guitar. When I was like a kid learning how to play guitar, they're like 15 minutes a day is all you need to like master guitar. They really left out the important part of that, where it's like 15 minutes a day of like, you know, very focused, very focused practice, not just like sitting there just kind of like wailing on your guitar for 15 minutes every day. You definitely get something out of that. But if, you know, you're like, how do you do scales? Or like, how do you do jazz chords and stuff like that, you know? It's kind of similar to kind of like what we're doing here, where it's like, all right, we'll spend an hour every day or like spend an hour every day working on a song that you're trying to learn. Guaranteed in like 7 days you'll have the song completely locked. I've been having so much fun with playing my guitar again. Cool. Okay. No words on page 81, but I think we're actually just gonna. No, I got some room. I got some room down here for maybe this guy. I kind of feel like he should maybe be a little bit. Ah, shit. Yeah, I don't have enough room. Or crap. Sorry, guys. I think I can fit these two in here though. Let's try that. So this pelvis is kind of tilted. You know, I mean, the cursing thing on here is, I think it's okay. I mean, this isn't like an all ages, you know. I'm not like, hey guys, look, you know, like trying to be like a, I don't know, kid show or anything, but definitely just trying to not be a complete savage. I can't wait till we get to the toe section. The toe section's kind of interesting in this because it's just like, I guess you should know, like maybe if you're gonna like draw, I guess you'll know whether you like drawing toes or not. If you just start designing a bunch of characters with like open-toed shoes, then toes probably aren't that much of an issue for you. I'm kind of about it. I remember like kind of reading Naruto and just being like, I think this guy's got a foot thing, because you know he's like totally into drawing feet. Feet can be tough. All right. I don't think feet are that tough to draw. I think it's mostly just like the toes. But I would much rather just learn how to draw shoes. If there's a shoe book out there, let me know. Alright, so we're gonna do this guy. I think we're gonna do him pretty big. It's, even though it's like kind of small here, there's a lot of information going on here. And I just kind of want to try to lock in as much of that information as possible. Yeah. Let's see if we can get it all in there. Oh yeah. Okay. So again, right, just gonna keep talking about process stuff. Right, notice how, you know, we're still doing construction, right? You don't just jump into just drawing. I probably said this a billion times, so apologies if you've been following along. But some people might just like kind of watch one of these randomly. And look at that. Right? Cool. So we got the basic construction in here. Let's get in here and tighten this up. This is another thing that trips me up, is the amount of space to leave for the other leg. Oh wow. What? I need to slow down just a tiny bit in my drawing here. Cool. It's not bad. Not bad, not bad. Big line of action here. Let's see if I left enough room. I did not, but it's okay. Just move this down. I guess this is kind of like the tricky thing about it's the feet, right? Like you gotta like leave enough room in this line of action to also include that foot. Okay. I know you might be getting to this head area here and thinking, I don't need to draw that. Give yourself a challenge. That is a very tough angle, but we got it. So we're gonna miss a little bit of this foot, but that's okay. If it's anything like the rest of this book has been, we will have plenty of feet to draw as we work through this lower limb section. Oh, look, we get a little scapula practice back. If you didn't get enough scapulas and trapezius muscle deltoid practice. Here's just a tiny bit more. Cool. I'm gonna draw these guys down here really tiny though. Give myself a little bit of a challenge by not drawing the line of action, just kind of trusting that I can keep the line of action going, but also keep the construction strong. Cool. All right. On to page 82. We're getting a little bit more of a close-up shot. Oh man, that hurt my wrist. Did not feel good. Of the quadriceps and abductors. So we've got some reading to do. Figure 1, which is right here. Figure 1 in a foreshortened view from the front. In a seated position, the nesting of the two volumes makes it possible to express depth. So what does that mean, right? Like you can kind of shrink it up a little bit, and then I guess since this is flatting, right? Like it's basically kind of mushing up the bottom of this cylinder to make this kind of flat. These abductors kind of cascade out. Which is pretty cool. All right, so we'll get these drawn in here. Foreshortening, man. It gets easier. Best way to practice foreshortening? I kind of don't really know. I'd say just like be open to getting it wrong. Also, just look at the best people that do it and kind of notice what's happening to the body. But with foreshortening, it's basically like, you know, you're kind of taking bits and pieces of you know, what you're foreshortening, and you're kind of basically shortening it out. I don't know, man, that crap's hard, but you can definitely get away with it. You just gotta kind of like practice like these kind of volumes, and then just like kind of shortening them, making one piece that's like the closest to the camera like the biggest, and then everything else after that is kind of just tiny. If I can get away with it for the most part, I feel like you guys can definitely do it too. Man, there's a really good guy. What's his name? I shouldn't even say anything. But that guy's really good at. It's like Ikazaku or something like that. He draws like Pokemon and Naruto battles. But always in like this insanely foreshortened angle. He's a good guy to look at for that kind of stuff. Any Japanese artist, really. They're like the best at doing foreshortening. It's insane. Kind of breaking my rule a little bit here by not doing a super duper construction, but it's okay. More, and then we'll start to tighten everything up. These feel like very Sal Buscema legs coming up. Like you'd see these on like Conan. Man, it's so weird how like the other leg, like the first leg you draw is so much more shortened than the other. Yeah, this is definitely like some Sal Buscema. Either Sal or John Buscema. This kind of looks like the there's like this Captain America drawing in like the Marvel way. It's a really cool drawing of Cap, but this feels very much like it. And this is super duper incorrect. So let's go ahead and or not incorrect, but just a little bit off. It's okay. That's better. And this last little guy, I think we can fit right here. Cool. All right, let's go around, tighten everything up. So a little volumetric practice right here. Not bad, not bad. Hard to get that flattened kind of look. This is a really good one. You see how they just, woo, big old slope. And then it's just like right here, right? The hell was that? Something just fell, but do you see, right? Okay, so this is a perfect example. Like, you see how I did this construction like really long, but you're like, this leg is basically kind of more so like this in front of us. So however long you're gonna do it, you kind of have to imagine that it's like, I drew it kind of like this, but it's really much more like this, like the kind of cylindrical. Now I'm annoyed. No, I'm good. I'm just like, what the hell was that? It fell. And then even like right here, right? Like, the shin muscles and everything really pop out, but like the actual shin itself shrinks. But yeah, like I said, foreshortening is very difficult. So don't trip. Just if it's something that like you know, tickles your fancy, then just do some more practice with it. There's a lot of math that kind of goes into foreshortening a little bit too, because it's basically perspective. Ow, that hurt. But look at us go now, man. We zooming. I'm just doing a little bit of smudging. It's kind of fun. I kind of forgot how fun that little thing is. Man, let me tell you guys a little quick story. When I was in 6th grade, I've only taken like a couple art classes. I did art once in middle school, and then I also did it once in high school. And both times just never stuck with it, just because I don't know. I don't know why I didn't. They didn't let you draw anime. It's like the only main reason I didn't want to stick with it. I was just like, well, I just want to draw that. But anyway, I thought I was hot stuff. And I remember one day I was walking around class kind of just looking at everybody's stuff. And I was just like, yeah, everybody else sucks at drawing in here. Everybody sucks at drawing in here except for me. I'm the best. I was a little jerk of a kid. But then I got to this one girl's table, and she was doing this in 6th grade, like smudging. Like she knew how to smudge. And I remember audibly yelling, "What the frick?" And I think I almost like cursed. I had never seen anything like that before, and I was just like, "Whoa, dude." I remember feeling so defeated. Like I was drawing like an anime nose on myself. We were doing like self-portraits. And man, she just knocked it out the park. It looked like exactly like her. It was freaking wild. I don't even think she draws like professionally. But at that time, I had never seen anything like that. Besides like my brother draw, like my brother was really good at drawing growing up. That was like the only person I'd ever seen like draw like that. And I remember just sulking back to my seat and just being like, what? I suck? I suck at drawing? I thought I was pretty good at this. And the art teacher I had at the time was just like, kind of looked at me and was just like, yeah. Yep. Shout out to Miss Adams. I miss you dearly. I think about her all the time. She really, really, really believed in me. And I kind of let her down, but I'm making up for it, Miss Adams. I'm doing my best now. She wouldn't fail me, but she was like, I have to give you, like, I'm going to give you the lowest passing grade I possibly can. because I know that you're a good artist, and I know that one day you'll get it together and actually try. But for now, I have to just give you the lowest. She gave me like a 69, you know, which hilarious. Probably laughed as I got that grade because I'm a dumb kid. I probably said something. Probably giggled. But I just think every now and then I try to think about like hitting her up or just like looking into, you know, like Googling her, and I'm like, she's got to be dead because she was old when I was in like 10th grade. She's got to be dead. There's no way that this woman is still alive and cooking. She was, I mean, she had to be like, but you know, when you're like in high school, like everybody's old. Maybe she just lived a hard life. I don't know, but every now and then I think about like, yeah, let me just Google. I probably shouldn't have said her name on this stream, but whatever. You don't know where I'm from. Someone's gonna leave in the comments, she's alive and well. She says hi. I'm like, jeez. Cool. All right. We got about 10 more minutes left. So I think we have just enough time to tackle this page with a freaking laying pose. All right, let's see. Figures 2, 3, and 4. Internal views. So inside of the leg, basically. The oblique line along the inside of the thigh coincides with the path of the sartorius muscle. So, which one's your sartorius? We're gonna have to look that up. It is expressed by the subcutaneous tibia, tib, from this angle. So your tibia is a bone, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. That's your tib. Should we stop and look up what a sartorius muscle is, or should we just kind of keep going? This is interesting, because I guess technically the... Wow. Oh, yeah. Man, like learning that this pelvis is just always going to be angled is something else. You know? Like your pelvis is basically never straight. It's always angled. So if anything, try to walk away with that. Ah, crap. Oh well, whatever. Like I said, we're gonna get plenty of foot practice later. I feel like I started out this series being like very hardcore. Like, we have to draw every single thing on the page. We're not lazy at all. Now I'm like, whatever, dude, it's fine. Because it is. It's totally fine. I'm kind of doing like an accidental like morning fast today. I woke up at like 7 and was just like, all right, let's just get to it. Didn't munch or nothing. So maybe after this I'll munch. Maybe make like an egg. I think that's like all we have to eat in the house right now. A single egg, and then there's like Reese's Puffs. Reese's Puffs are like the greatest cereal ever created, but they're one of those cereals that it's hard to eat just like one bowl of. You know? Like I'm always gonna eat like 1.5, 2 sometimes, and then like an hour later I'm like, why does my stomach feel like it's trying to come out of my body right now? I guess there's like that much sugar in those things that like I guess when it gets down to like your lower intestine, it feels like hell. But going down, you know, like when you're first munching that first bowl, and then you're like, you know what, my stomach doesn't hurt, I'm gonna eat a second bowl, it still doesn't hurt, you're like, hell yeah, dude, I got over it. It's like an hour wait. You gotta wait like an hour later, you're gonna be like, oh, stomach cramping up like crazy. It happened to me yesterday. I came home from a long day of just like walking around New York. I was like, first thing I saw as I walked in the house, my girlfriend was like talking to me about, I don't even know what the hell she was talking about, but I just beelined right towards the old Reese's Puffs box. Plopped down on the couch and just went to town, dude. Just started munching. Done first bowl, and I said, you know what, run it back. Cause you know what, I don't think I got enough Reese's Puffs in that first bowl. I think I might have made a conservative bowl. So I actually only did like half. And then I let the cat drink the milk. Which I really try not to do too much of that, because it's like sugar milk at that point. Which I'm surprised she's like into. But it's definitely like, I'm like, ooh, this is sweet. But to mess around and give my cat diabetes. She's already got a freaking hyperthyroid. That'd be hilarious. I bring my cat in, they're like, dude, her blood sugar's like through the roof. What the hell is going on? I'll be like, does drinking cereal milk make that happen? Sorry, guys. They'll be like, yes. So I only give her like a couple. I let her get in there, get a couple licks. I'll even sometimes like hold up like a spoon full of like cereal milk for her. And then after she's had, you know, maybe like 1 or 2 of those, then I'm like, all right, dude, that's enough. But shout out to the sweet baby Thanos, man. She's crushing it right now. I honestly suspect my cat, I mean, she's had a couple she's only really had like one health brush. Otherwise, she's been like completely freaking fine. I really honestly suspect that she's gonna go the distance at this point. I'm just like, all right, well, we're just gonna have one of those cats that's just like, yeah, she's like, you know, 40 years old, so please be careful. There's a part of me that kind of wants to get her like another, you know, cat, but I've lived in houses with like multiple cats, and it's fun. It's definitely like fun, it's definitely like it's like crazy because you're just like, you know, every day is kind of like a wild little adventure. But it's just, you know, one cat in a litter box is already like, oh jeez, you know, it's already hard to remember to like clean up after her. And I have one cat. 2 cats, man, it's over. You gotta clean that thing multiple days, multiple times a day. If you don't, and it's still not enough. Just 2 dehydrated idiots, you know, peeing in a it's like, of course it smells horrific. Like, both of these idiots don't drink water at all. Thanos drinks water now. She's like the water queen right now. Ever since she got a hyperthyroid, she's at the sink every single day, like multiple times a day, getting her water on. Which is kind of annoying because we have a thing for her. Like, she has her own dedicated like water fountain that she'll look out of it like once or twice, and then she's like, I'm good, I want the real stuff. It's like diet water for her, I guess. She like wants it from like the source. She's like, let me get in that faucet, bro. Stop holding out. And you know, she's old, man. So she's not old to the point where she's like, you know, you'll know an old cat, right? Like, we've all seen an old cat where you're like, oh shit, that's an old cat. Like, where they basically hang out in like 2 spots in the house. We had an old cat at my at an ex's house that I lived in, where they had, and I'm not exaggerating here, 10 cats. The house reeked, but it was a house, so it's like a little bit more kind of sort of a bit understandable why someone might think that's a good idea. They're good people, they just could not say no to cats. Their vet would give them cats that were basically like, hey, this cat, you know, it's got a terminal illness, it's basically gonna die, we just don't want it to die. You know, it's a humane thing. It's like, hey, can you know, let it die around people? Because then at least it's like, it's not going to die in like a cage, or, you know, it's horrific. So a lot of times, you know, the vet would give them these cats that were basically like, yeah, it's, you know, it's got like a week left to live. And then these cats would all miraculously heal. I swear to God, it was every single cat was like, yeah, he's on his last leg, he's going to die, he's got, you know, this, and this is wrong with them. There's no way he's making it out of this, and nobody's going to adopt a dying cat. And then I was like, all these cats were like that? They're all healthy as hell. Yeah, it was hilarious. I was like, you guys got to stop getting tricked. I don't think these cats are terminal at all. But I mean, there's nothing better than bonding with a cat. Dogs are easy. Dogs are just, I don't know. Nothing wrong with a dog, obviously, but I've had street dogs walk up to me and just sit in my lap. I'm like, oh, you're my human. I'm like, yeah, dude. But you do that with a cat. A random cat comes up to you and sits in your lap. That's real. All right. So, see you guys tomorrow. We're going to start it off on page 84. Tackling the female legs. Alrighty, we'll see you then. Peace.